My name is Jessica Van Dyke, and this is a presentation on Louis Pasteur for microbiology for health professionals. Louis Pasteur, the father of immunology. Born December 27th in 1822 in Dole, France, Pasteur grew up in a town named Arbois, and his father's name was Jean-Joseph Pasteur. His father was a tanner and a sergeant major decorated with the Legion of Honor during the Napoleonic Wars. In 1840, Louis Pasteur earned his Bachelor of Arts degree, and in 1842 he earned his Bachelor of Science degree, both at the Royal College of Bensican. A few years later, in 1847, he earned his doctorate at École Normale in Paris. He became a professor of chemistry in 1848 at the University of Strasbourg, where he met his wife, Marie Laurent. His family life. Louis and Marie wed on May the 27th, 1849. They had 5 children, where only 2 survived childhood. 3 died from typhoid fever. And there's pictures of Louis Pasteur in his younger days. Crystallography and molecular asymmetry. Around 1848, Pasteur combines crystallography, chemistry, and optics to draw a parallel between the external shape of a crystal, its molecular constitution, and its action on polarized light. His research leads him to form a fundamental law that only the products born under the influence of life are asymmetrical, because their development presides over cosmic forces which are themselves asymmetrical. Pasteur's work is the origin of what is known today as stereochemistry. Pasteurization and fermentation. While examining a solution of paratartaric acid, he realized that under the effect of a mold, the acid fermented and disassociated. Fermentation was believed to be a work of death, but he proved it to be a work of life. In 1854, Pasteur was appointed the Dean of the Faculty of Sciences of Lille, where he continues to study fermentation. He worked with the germ theory and furthered the development of the living organism yeast for fermenting. He then invented a process where bacteria could be removed by boiling and then cooling liquid, a process we know today as pasteurization. The first test for pasteurization was completed on April the 20th, 1862, which was the same year that he won the Alhambert Prize for this discovery. Pasteur's germ theory of disease. Pasteur began to think that if germs could cause fermentation, they could also cause contagious diseases. In 1870, he began to study fowl cholera with farmers and chickens. Fowl cholera is a contagious bacterial disease of birds caused by Pasteurella multocida, a gram-negative, non-spore-forming rod-shaped bacteria that could spread through a farm in 3 days and wipe out its whole flock of chickens. While injecting test chickens, Pasteur noticed that the chickens that had already been injected with a weaker dose were not affected with the disease. This left him to wonder if the same would work for anthrax. It did work, and by 1881 he was introducing his anthrax vaccine to the world. Within 10 years, millions of animals, cattle and sheep, had been vaccinated, and the mortality rate was less than 1%. And there's pictures with the definition of fowl cholera, the symptoms, which could be sudden death, swollen face, wattles or joints, diarrhea, loss of weight and appetite, and a drop in egg production. It's treated with broad spectrum antibiotics, vitamins, and electrolytes, and can be prevented with maintaining strict biosecurity by keeping rodents away because they spread it, cleaning and disinfecting poultry houses regularly, and vaccinating the birds in high-risk areas. The rabies vaccine. In 1882, he turned his attention to rabies, a disease spread from contact with body fluids of an infected victim, including saliva. His first successful rabies vaccination was with a dog. He then went on to vaccinate humans. He also built the first Pasteur Institute in Paris to treat victims of rabies. More Pasteur Institutes followed around the world where people were treated for rabies and other diseases. The father of immunology. Louis Pasteur introduced the hope that all infectious diseases could be prevented by prophylactic vaccination. There was little known about the immune system and disease at this time, but after Pasteur's study of germs and immunizations, he began urging doctors to sanitize their hands and equipment, especially before surgery. And here's a few slides of all of his awards and honors. It says he was elected the perpetual secretary at the Académie des Sciences, but he resigned because of illness in January of 1888. Pasteur's last years. Louis Pasteur had suffered several strokes over the years, one which left him partially paralyzed in 1868. His paralysis worsened as he got older, and he passed on September the 28th, 1895. In 1896, his remains were transferred to the Neo-Byzantine crypt at the Pasteur Institute. That is regarding his pasteurization, and that is to do with the vaccines. And here is the references. More references. And images reference.